Hi, good evening all. So I welcome everyone to the webinar session. So today we will be taking the RTMP video streaming servers. So Sudarshan will be taking the session. So I give it to Sudarshan. Sudarshan can start.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay. So
Yeah.
I'm Sudarshan Jaikrishnan. I am an L2 engineer here at InfraStack-Labs, and today we'll be exploring the history behind the RTMP server and its relevance today. So we'll start with a small presentation. It'll be quick. We'll go through a few bullet points, and then I'll show you a demonstration of the actual server and what you can do with it. So I'll share my screen now. Please let me know when it's visible.
Accessible.
Okay, yeah. So the RTMP server is like the granddaddy of all streaming protocols that we use today. Okay. So this was developed way back in 2002 by Adobe Systems. It's a proprietary piece of software. It used to be. And RTMP stands for Real-Time Messaging Protocol. So this was primarily designed exclusively for audio-visual transfer over the internet. Now, streaming has become ubiquitous in the modern age, and I'm sure you'll be subscribed to at least one of these streaming services. So that is the relevance of the RTMP server. And we'll be seeing its evolution, and also we'll be seeing a downfall of it in the following slides. So let's look at the origins. Now, this was primarily set up to be part of the Flash player, the Adobe Flash player. It's no longer in existence. They've stopped support for it, but it used to be part of it. Now, this gained a lot of popularity due to its low latency. In present times, we have something called ultra low latency. Uh, so back in the day, low latency was a big deal. And the thing is, a lot of the streaming platforms that we see today in their early stages, they used to use RTMP servers. So a few examples would be YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitch, Periscope, which was later taken over by Twitter, and I think it's called Twitter Live now. So yeah, the landscape was very different back then. Now, how the RTMP server works, or how this protocol works, sorry. So it works using the TCP protocol. TCP is a transmission control protocol, and it uses something called a three-way handshake. So that is what makes it very reliable. So the connections are established and terminated via these handshakes. Now, it utilizes multiple channels, like separate channels for audio, video, and metadata. So this is where codecs come into play. I think you may know what is codecs. So we'll be having multiple formats, right? Like AAC or MPEG-4, HVAC. All these codecs are there. So they're used to encode these audios and videos into separate channels, and this enables us to sort of compress and fit into the data packets. Now the metadata part is basically it is used for synchronization. So let's imagine timestamps and the ability to skip or seek using the little bar at the bottom of the player. That is facilitated by this metadata. Now, looking at the setup of how we are doing this, so if you see the image on the side, you have the camera, which is the source. It could be any source. It could be a live feed from a camera, or it could be a recorded source. Then you have an encoder, you have a media server, and then you have finally the client. Here it is mentioned as player, but those are the clients. Now the RTMP server as it is sits in the middle. So that is where these connections are established, and basically you can facilitate the live streaming through there. So what I'll be showing you afterwards will be setting up that server and how to do it yourself. We'll also be exploring the encoder part. So these are like uh, points on the dominance of RTMP. Like I said, this was very early technology and it quickly caught on. So in the present day and age, RTMP does not have a footprint at all. They are used in some use cases, but at that time they were widely used, and that was a one-stop solution for all. Now, coming to those challenges that I referred previously, you had these concerns over security because this was developed by Adobe, and it 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 played along with the Flash player. It was part of that, so nobody really could had any control over it other than Adobe. It became obsolete after a point when modern devices came up, and the thing is, the main thing to note here was a single point of failure, meaning that the structure is built around that central server. So you have the RTMP server, and you have a source, and then you have these clients. So what happens is if you lose that central server, the entire system collapses. You cannot stream video unless you have that central server up and running. Now, this alludes to another problem that um, the setup has, and that is the fact that it is not scalable. You have to, it will not scale up dynamically. That's what I mean. So now you have a lot of modern alternatives. Um, so you had these HTML5 HTTP based protocols, HLS dash. So when these came into advent, the relevance of RTMP started to go down. And as of 2020, they've stopped RTMP completely. So as we discussed earlier, HLS and Dash. So these were separately developed, and in fact, Dash is actually what is powering modern streaming services. In India, Jio Cinemas runs on Dash. It's a little sketchy, but Disney Plus also works with Dash. In fact, this call is happening on Google Meet right now. Google developed the Web RTC, or the Web Real-Time Communication for peer-to-peer streaming. So we are actually using this protocol as we speak. Now, in conclusion, this used to be a trailblazer, the RTMP server and its setup, but now its relevance is questioned, and but it is essential to know how we got here. So that's that. Now, as I was doing the research for the RTMP server and its architecture, I came across a quote from Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, and if you see the date on which is mentioned in this quote, it is 2002, and the RTMP protocol was released on the same year. So it shows how technology is sort of correlated, and that it is very important to get on the bandwagon at the very beginning. So that's it for the presentation.
Sudarshan, we lost your voice. If you're speaking. No, Sudarshan. Yeah, unable to hear you.
Yeah, I lost connection there.
Okay, we can hear you.
Is there a till where did we drop off?
I think you just concluded your slides and then you were
Okay.
about
Okay.
to switch.
So, is there any questions before we move on to the demo?
Maybe I have a couple of questions. So maybe I'll put it towards the end.
Right. So I'll move forward with the demo. My screen is visible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be showing a quick and easy method of how to set up an RTMP server of your own. So for that, the first thing you require is you need a VM. So what I've done is I already have a VM up and running, and we can make use of that. Just give me a minute as I connect.
Is there an issue?
Yeah, is it?
Is there an issue connecting to the VPN?
I'm not able to. I was connected till now. Between that network interruption, I lost it. Just give me a minute. Let me see.
Yeah, for me also, VPN is not connecting.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay.
Investigate. Yeah, meanwhile, I'm just looking at it. Meanwhile, it is good to know very old technology. It's like it's all almost like 20 years old right now. And you did mention that it has lost its relevance and newer technologies has emerged. Uh, just wanted to understand is this protocol still in use anywhere? Like, is there any special use case where this can be used, considering the shortcomings which you have already mentioned? Can we think of any use case?
Yep. So the thing is, there are multiple versions of the same protocol. So one problem this has is it's not secure enough. In
Okay.
the sense, while I'm showing the demo, you'll get a better idea. We're just using it. I mean, we're casting based on an IP. Okay. So if that goes out, pretty much anyone can connect to that feed. So you need to have some sort of security layer on it. Now
Okay.
there's something called RTMPS. Now
Mhm.
that is still widely being used mainly for these security cameras and things like that, which are in a closed network.
Okay. So it is definitely not it's scalable, right? Scalable architecture.
It is not scalable.
Okay, nice. It has no Dockerized version or anything like that. Still.
It has a Dockerized version. I mean, it has a containerized version. In fact, our demo will show that.
Okay. So that should help a bit. I assume. I don't know.
It should, but the thing is that every container generates its own unique ID, and based on that,
Okay.
we're doing it.
And
But
how
scale, yeah.
Say for example, how is it different from something like Wowza?
Actually, Wowza is built on top of RTMP. So that's how the technology evolved.
Okay,
So,
so
like I said, they have multiple versions, right? So this is like bare bones.
yeah,
RTMP is like bare bones. So they took that and solved these issues regarding scalability and security.
okay. Anybody else has questions? Please feel free to shoot out the questions.
Yeah, VPN is working, I think.
Yeah, it is working.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Okay, so here's my instance. This is going to act as our RTMP server. And we're going to make use of this private IP to facilitate the connection. So the first thing that we need to do is log into that instance and set up that Docker image that I talked about before. Let's see. Now I'll share the link to the actual setup. I've got it here. So you can refer this and complete the setup. I'll drop it in the chat. So all that we're doing here for a vanilla setup is you just need to run this docker pull command, but make sure you have the prerequisites. And when I mean prerequisites, you need to have Docker installed on your VM. So once you do that, you can docker pull and then build that image. Okay. So once you build that image, you just have to make sure that the image is up and running on your VM. So here, if I give yes. So that our images container is running. And you have to also make sure that by default, this RTMP server uses 1935 as a port. So in case this setup does not work, make sure that the port is open. And once you have it up and running, what you need to do next is you need to set up your OBS Studio. Now, OBS Studio, it's like an open source piece of software, acts as the encoder also. So you can get it from this website. It's free to download. So you get it for any operating system you're using, and I've got it installed already. So this is what it looks like. Now, here what you need to do is that you need to connect it to your RTMP server. So to do that, what you need to do is you need to go to File, Settings, and go to the Stream. You'll
So
have
this
yeah.
software acts as a source.
You can connect a source via the software.
Okay.
So
And it has an inbuilt encoder also.
yes, it has an inbuilt encoder.
Okay.
So here you can set up the stream. So if you have noticed, this is the IP of the VM that we created. And we just need to use this on the client on which we would like to stream. So let this be here, and you need to set up a key also. It can be anything. It doesn't really matter, just to authenticate. And then you can set up your sources here. You just have to select a source here. So by default, display source will be already active when you install, and you can stream a recording also, like a movie or something. Now, so if I switch this on, whatever you see here is from the source that you have selected, right? So for this demonstration, instead of showing it on my PC, what we can do is like we can stream it on Sanjay's computer. Okay, that will be a little more effective to understand. So for streaming on the client side, we'll use the VLC player, and we can connect to this server that we have set up. Okay, so the structure will be like, or the data flow will be like, I'll be putting out a source that goes into the server, and from there uh, it goes to the client. Okay, so I'm here in Bangalore, Sanjay is in Kerala, and the server will sit in between and facilitate the connection. Okay, so Sanjay, can you switch on VLC and I'll share you the link to it.
Yeah, okay. So sure.
Okay, and you can share your screen so I can tell you what to do.
Yeah, you can turn off your.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I will start.
If anybody else has VLC, you can also try it. Just follow my instructions when you're ready. I've dropped the link in the chat. Please copy that.
Yeah, I think my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, Sanjay, you're connected to VPN also, right?
Yes,
Just make sure. Okay, perfect.
So can you share the link?
I've shared it already.
The old one.
In this chat, not in Skype. Yeah, that will also work. It's the same.
Okay.
Okay, go to media, and there'll be something called Open Network Stream. Yeah, paste it there. And you can play. So currently we're not streaming anything, so you should not be able to see anything. So what I'll do is, first I'll select a stream. In this case, I'm going to select the display, my computer's display, and then I'll click on Start Stream. So I think it's streaming now. You should get a visual now.
Yeah, your display is visual.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Sudarshan's screen, right?
Yeah, this is my screen going through our RTMP server.
RTMP server.
Yeah.
And
It is being displayed on Sanjay's computer right
I'm
now.
just okay.
And what we can do now is we can change streams also. So if I stop streaming, Sanjay will lose the live stream. And I'm going to change the stream now with a media source. I'm going to play another video.
Okay.
So let's try this. It should be streaming now. Sanjay, could you refresh? I think,
The video is stuck. I will start again.
yeah.
Once I will connect. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
I think because of VPN, it is a little bit delay.
Yeah. Also, one thing that while I was testing this, I figured
Hold
it
on.
out. The one of the issues that RTMP has is the fact that it does not adapt to network conditions. So if you're watching a YouTube video, it will see like what kind of bandwidth you have, and then accordingly it will adjust the quality of the video. Right? It will give you 1080p if you have really good internet. If you have got bad internet, it will go down to 144p. RTMP does not support that. Natively, it does not support. Other versions do, but this particular version does not. So regardless of what is the network condition, you'll always be it'll always try to stream in full high
The
definition,
original,
or whatever is a
original
source,
file.
it will be, yeah. So this is like a high def video, so for that reason I think this jerk is happening.
So can I stop this? Stop playing.
Maybe you could have selected a smaller video to see it.
Yeah, I'm streaming a smaller video now. I think if you refresh the stream, it will come.
Have you started streaming?
Yeah, I have.
But nothing is playing.
Hmm. Let me check.
Yeah, too much of load on the network because already we are using screen share.
It could be that. I'm not really sure.
The video is playing, but it is not showing.
Let us see, it's slow.
Okay. It's not moving at all, right?
Yes, not moving.
Fine, that should be fine. Anyways, we did see the streaming, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So um, that's pretty much it. If you have a setup, you can try out a few things. Like you can try multiple sources. If you could connect cameras to it, you can, control the input. You can record. You can do a lot of things here with this OBS Studio.
Okay. Yeah, that was good. Good to
Yeah.
see it live. So, what are the other advancements in this streaming technologies? Which,
Okay. So there's something called what is it? Mm, WRT communication. That is what we use right now for Google Meet. So what happens there is you can connect multiple sources and multiple sources can interact with each other. So what we're doing that is right now. I mean, what we're doing right now is that only. With RTMP, I don't think it's possible. Like, even though you can have multiple sources, they cannot interact. Here, that's not the case, right? So that is the main advancement. And then you have scalability.
okay. Yeah, it was too early for all these
Yes,
network
yes.
to hardly people would have thought of scalable systems like this we have now. So it is always good to understand the basics of these technologies and see how it evolved over the years and understand. So with that perspective, I think it is very important to know the origins of these technologies. So that is giving us good insight on how things evolved. And this is good.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyone have any questions? I think no one is.
So why did they have this Docker container if it is it creating uh,
Okay, so one thing that I
individual?
brushed, yeah, one thing that I brushed over was the fact that within the Docker there's Nginx also running.
Okay,
Yeah, so this is not exactly the thing that uh, Adobe used to supply. Another developer actually set this up.
okay.
It's like a project, so
Somebody has tried it
yeah,
out.
somebody has tried it out. Yeah.
Okay. Is anybody else has a question? People working with browser, you can clearly see the difference with the legacy RTMP. No questions.
Yeah, hi, Jairam Sudarshan. I have no questions, but I just wanted to appreciate Sudarshan for the presentation. I'm completely new to this, and I would say this even a student from 10th class or from degree, if they attend this class, they will be able to get full idea of what exactly is being presented. And I really like the way it was presented in a simple and subtle manner. And yeah, that's from my end. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Asha. That good to know that
Yeah, thank you.
you
Thank
liked
you,
it.
Arshad.
Obviously, when we start when we see things uh, like demonstration and all. Obviously, there will be few glitches like this. How the VPN did not connect. So live demonstrations are always like uh, bound to have these technical glitches, but it actually has a good impact. Though the demo is small and all those things, right? People when they see those things uh, firsthand, demo, it really gives a better idea than the uh, generic presentations which happen in that. It was good. Any questions, Anand? Hari Krishna?
No, Ji.
Devapada?
Noted.
No questions from me also.
Okay, then I think anything else, Sudarshan, you want to add to this?
No, that's it. I think we covered everything. Yeah.
Uh, Okay, then we can wind up, right?
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Thank you all.
all. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Have a great evening.